Found your wife, by the way.
I told him.
Oh,
Sick.
Like, we love her.
yeah. You're gonna love her. I can't wait to like for you not to know which one it is because I have on her application I put winner. I put the winner at the top.
Welcome back to another episode of Jam with the
Boys.
Today is our second episode. We have lots of topics to cover. We've decided to implement some segments. So we're going to chat a little bit of personal updates, a Date My Brother update. We're going to touch on some current events, some hot topics, and some sibling segments. So are you guys ready to get into it?
Ready.
Let's just start off how today has gone so far. So we were supposed to have Lagree. We're partnering with Lagree for a fun little video that you guys will see soon. And we were under the impression it was at 11. Jordan is struggling at the moment with
Food
poisoning. And we told him, we don't care. Get your ass down here for 11.
Yeah, I had to make a quick pit stop on the side of the highway. Find myself the closest bathroom. It was bad.
And he got to Lagree before we did at 11, only to find out it was at 2 o'clock. So we are forcing him to do this pod right now. We had some dates planned. We'll get into that for the Date My Brother update. But do you guys want to touch on the Lagree a little bit?
I've never done Pilates before. That's a Pilates thing, right?
Sort of, yeah. It's like a bit difficult, more difficult than Pilates, but it's on a similar reformer.
Yeah.
So I was at this grocery store and I was telling the girl about it, and she said that like you think you're just like tough and strong, and she's like you're gonna like break. And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, I do jujitsu and I like lift weights and do all this. And she's like, my first jujitsu or my first Pilates, like I was like almost in tears.
Yeah, it'll definitely
like,
be.
Oh my god! Like thanks for.
It's
really
interesting
bumping it up.
because I can't see it because like
It looks like such a rinky-dink machine.
yeah, it does. But it's like I wonder if it's like how hard you make it, like kind of like yoga. Like you can really like push yourself. Like, hey, there's option A and here's option B, and if you're feeling comfortable, do option C. Like, and it's for like the advanced yogis.
I think a lot of it is because these machines, a lot of it is strength and balance, but because you guys are so heavy, I think that's what makes it difficult for guys because there's so much more on these tiny little things that you're trying to balance.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
I wanted to chat about how we got started doing this because this whole setup and TikTok podcasting was definitely not on our bucket list this year.
Just kind of happened.
It kind of just happened and we decided to roll with it. And why did you guys want to continue doing it?
Well,
Spit
it was
it out.
kind of it was so interesting because it started with just a random video that we didn't know you were filming. I had TikTok, but I don't have
Not one photo. Nothing.
It's not even
one
your
photo.
username.
No, it's not even my username. And so I'd like click on it every once in a while, and I follow a few chefs and stuff, so I'd do that. But yeah, it just kind of happened with that one video. It got like, I don't know, it's probably close to 9 million views now.
Yeah, 8.4.
8.4.
Woo!
And it happened really quickly. And then we posted
The Tay-Swift.
No, I thought it was
Two.
the reaction one. Like my brother's reacting to 5 million.
Yeah.
yeah.
It was one or the other, but the reaction video got like a million like right off the hop too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that was just a FaceTime.
Yeah, it was just you
Recording.
just FaceTimed us recording it like
Oh,
us
that's
like
when I dumped water on my head.
Yeah.
yeah. And we just reacted to like having 5 million views, and it was kind of like a joke for both of us. We were
Yeah.
living together at the time, and George's like dumping water on his head, like sort of like pretending to be excited, and I was like, I don't have time for this. And then we posted the Taylor Swift video.
And that one was going to be
That one,
hot.
Yeah.
that one got like
5.2?
5 million like within a couple days.
Yeah, sound got removed almost
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah, this when the sound got removed, all the views stopped because they kind of like blocked the video because it was a AI version of a Taylor Swift song about Travis Kelce, and it was just like you just filming us kind of like in secret again. You like played the song. We were sitting on the couch and you played the song, and we were both just watching TV, and we both kind of just looked over, and like that was pretty much it. We both just kind of shook our heads, and that was the end of the video.
And in
Yeah.
that moment, I knew we had something special because I have never had so many comments about women being interested in you guys. And I had done TikTok a few years ago trying to build a community of women, and it just ended up getting creepy old men. So I stopped. But once I started posting you guys, I was like, oh shit, we can have a community of women now.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm going to roll with this. And I think for us, we just want to be able to add value and create a community of like-minded people.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's kind of why we're doing it now.
Yeah, I mean, even then I was still kind of like not on board with the whole thing. And then you had a couple like friends that are influencers that do it for a living. Like that's how they make their living. Like they're successful people. And they reached out to you and said, you guys got the sauce kind of thing. Like you guys need to keep doing this.
Yeah.
And then you kind of tried to convince us to continue doing it. I'd be honest, I was kind of reluctant because I was like, I don't really want to be doing this a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we had talked, like I had like pitched the idea like, oh, okay, like if we're going to do this, we should probably do this right. Maybe we should try and like further our following or like get on someone's podcast or like chat with a talent management group. And then almost immediately when I put that out there, like talent management groups were reaching out to us. And then once Shine got on board, Shine's our talent management group now.
Shout out Shine.
Shout out Shine.
Yes. And
Just yelling at random stuff, eh? Shine.
Yeah. And then once they got on board and they kind of started running the numbers by me, I'm like, oh shit, this could be like
Very lucrative.
very lucrative,
Yeah.
like more lucrative than
Most jobs.
most jobs. And I'm like, okay, this is fun. It's just us sitting down and kind of bullshitting with each other like we would do normally. And they're giving me numbers that are like, we don't even have that big of a following at that point in time. Even still now, it's not that big of a following, but it's the community engagement. Like people like hearing us talk for some reason. So
Yeah, I think because we have a community of mostly women, you guys provide such sound advice on the male perspective that I think is extremely valuable. And I think I'm able to pick your guys' brains and ask thought-provoking questions to get inside of them.
yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Yeah. It's like the perfect dynamic. So it was just like the perfect storm. It's not like one day, like either Jord or I or you at the time woke up and be like, okay, here's what I think we should do.
Yeah.
Like we need to be influencers.
No.
And even my friends, they're like, whoa, I never saw this coming.
Because we're pretty private people, all of us.
Yeah.
And even before this, we were, for us to share our lives, I think. And I think it makes it very authentic that we are our true selves with each other. And it makes it more comfortable. And if one of us is acting a fool, we call each other out,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's easy to stay authentic.
I had never even had a public Instagram before.
No.
I had
you
like-
hadn't
No,
either.
mine was private too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had like maybe like 400 followers. I was following like maybe 3,000 pages. And the management group was like, hey, we need to
Trim the
I
fat.
know. Follow.
we need to unfollow a bunch of stuff. I think we touched on that in a different segment, but yeah.
It's really great. And the
Month and a half.
community of people, like we said, they engage and it's like-minded people that,
Yeah, like everything that we post, there's always engagement, which is awesome. Like no matter what it is, everyone's always just engaging with us. It's pretty sweet.
yeah, it's fun for us. So that's kind of how we ended up here. Should we apologize to Mom?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Mom.
We're sorry for taking you down in the last episode, but
Yeah, there was no intention.
John and I
Taking
went
down
over to
her
her
mom.
house the next day and she's made like the healthiest dinner ever. We were like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
She's
she
like,
sent
"I
me
feel
such
so
a
bad."
she sent me such a heartfelt like apology almost. Like, I'm so sorry. Like I didn't know back in the day, like nobody knew, and I like sent her a message. I'm like, it's okay, Mom. But people did know.
Yeah.
I sent her that.
Yeah.
Sugar and
Yeah,
butter.
or Dad.
Sugar and butter.
Yeah.
Okay, I would like to chat about how you were late for work. You've been working like a dog and
dog.
you woke up.
Yeah, I just been working like very, very long days and kind of just took a nap. And it was like 7:30 at night.
In bed or on the couch?
In bed, I just fell asleep in bed, like just laid down after work. It was 7:30 and I woke up at like 8. It was an hour later and I thought it was 8 a.m. the next day, so I was like an hour late for work. And I woke up in such a panic. I started power calling my boss and like he's not answering. I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm fired." Like I am so done because I slept in once and they called me and they're like, "Hey, you coming in today?" And I was like 10 minutes late.
Okay.
Like, I'll be right there. Like, it's okay. Like, I know you're working like crazy amount of hours, but this was like an hour late and now no one's answering. I'm calling both the bosses. Nobody's answering. I'm like, oh, I'm so fired. And then I look at the phone and I'm like, because like 8 p.m., the light out is like kind of the same as 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
very similar. And
It's
I was-
almost exactly now that you say it.
yeah. So I was like in such a daze where I was like, oh my God, 8. And like, yeah. Then I realized it was still PM and I was like, oh my God, I sent them all a text. I'm like, yeah, something weird just happened in my brain where I thought it was.
You've
8.
done that before though, haven't you? Or was it
Working
me?
up north.
Maybe it was up north. Maybe, yeah.
I feel like someone was like got fully dressed and out the door and was driving to work and then realized. Was that you?
It could have been. Very well could have been, because I
boots
remember.
on, ready to fucking go,
Yeah,
like
it was.
driving to work,
Yeah.
and then realizing like,
Oh my God, it's PM.
That is actually bananas.
Yeah, nuts.
So you made it here though today.
Made it here today, yes.
We're grateful. Thank you. And sorry again
No
for
worries.
our little dispute this morning.
Yeah. We were walking to Lagree this morning, and I just told James, I was just like, yeah, I got back from golf, and I golfed at like 6 a.m. And when I got back, I was just sitting on the couch, and I'm like, oh, I'll throw in some laundry. So I start throwing in the laundry. I'm like, okay, I'll just throw all my clothes in the laundry. So I take all my clothes off and throw them all in with the load. And then I'm walking around. I'm like, oh, no one's around. And I like walk outside. And I'm like, oh, I feel like this might be the first time I've ever walked around outside naked before. And I realized there's no one around. So I just pulled up my Tommy Bahama chair and sat down for like 20 minutes, just butt ass naked.
Like he's not in like a gated area. Like anybody
hedged.
could,
It's
but
hedged.
somebody
It is
could
hedged.
walk by.
I mean, someone would have to walk
Like
up
mom
the
could have
driveway.
easily pulled up.
Like, yeah, but I would have heard. I would have heard. It wasn't like at the side of the house either. It was kind of at the back, like my patio, and then there's that like gravel place. So I was kind of sitting like in behind my barbecue, between my barbecue and the hedge, and it was just perfect. The sun was just right over top of me.
It's the strangest thing
It
ever.
must have felt nice, though.
Yeah, it felt very weird. It's like, oh wow, I haven't been outside naked probably since I was like 2 or 3. Yeah, I'm like, this is nice.
It's like those all naked resorts. Like when I was in Jamaica, there was a resort that was fully nude, not just a beach, a resort. People were walking around.
Oh, it's a nudist colony.
Yeah, like I was like, we pulled up and I was like, holy what the hell's going on? And just people walking around the lobby naked. I was like, this is nuts.
That's
Crazy.
nuts.
I immediately
Were
was like,
the employees naked?
no.
Oh,
They
They're
should
nuts.
be.
No, they would all put the white man to shame.
Okay, I want to tell a story that made me realize that John is the ultimate dad. Do you know the story I'm about to tell?
No.
Okay, so we were at dinner for my dad's birthday dinner the other day, and we were at a Greek restaurant, and I had chicken skewers. And I don't know if you've ever had a bad piece of chicken, but it will throw you
Oh, yeah,
right
now
off.
I know the story.
So I was just going about eating my dinner. I eat this piece of chicken, and it sounded like I crunched on a rock.
It sounded like something. I didn't really notice it at the time because I wasn't paying attention. I was in my own food. But yeah, definitely your reaction.
Like
I knew that you had chomped on something.
I had stopped exactly in my tracks, and I spit it out into my napkin. And John just, if he did not have a kid, he would not do this. He reaches over into the napkin and starts to feel the chicken to try and find what was in there
Well, in the restaurant.
in the restaurant. I was like, that is the ultimate dad move right there.
Yeah, usually if Mason spits something out and he's like, I don't like this, then I just pick it up and eat it. I mean, he's me basically, so whatever.
Yeah, that's
He
true.
did that at
That's
Mother's Day. He like spat out something and you picked it up and ate it.
Yeah.
true. The eggs.
Yeah, it was like eggs.
Usually if he spits something out that like I'm just like, oh whatever, like I want that.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Or
No
he
food
always
wasted.
does this. If he doesn't find a garbage, he'll take out his gum now and he'll just be like, Dad,
Stop.
and just put it in my mouth. I'm like, all right, bud.
That's cute. He's coming on the pod soon.
Yes, he is.
Okay, I want to chat about Date My Brother updates. So do you want to let the people know what you and I have been up to?
Sure, yeah. Well, Jamie Lynn went through a lot of the first
543.
540 girls, went through them all and narrowed it down to like 75. You had a lot more time to kind of get to it and read all this stuff. And then
It's a lot of applicants.
It was insane.
yeah, even the 75, I was like overwhelmed. Like
Yeah.
going
So
through the
crazy.
75 because you got to click open the file and then they have attached photos and you kind of got to go through the photos and go through the profile and they have, it's like 3 pages of profile stuff, like different questions that they've answered, and we want to give everyone the benefit of the doubt or give everyone a fair chance. And some people wrote like a bunch, like, oh, why do you think you would be good for my brother? And then they wrote like a ton, or what are you looking for, and wrote a ton.
Crazy.
And yeah, so we narrowed it down from 75 to 20. Then we over to the next 2 days, we picked 10 girls the first day and 10 girls the next day. We went through all these girls and called them all, FaceTimed them all, just to make sure they were like real people and like genuinely like interested, and had quick conversations. It was like between 5 and some maybe 10 minutes each.
Crazy.
Yeah, like 200 minutes of calls, basically.
It was a lot.
And yeah, then we were just kind of scheduling them to go on dates with Jord, or just like the initial first Zoom date.
Yeah, and the first Zoom date, so the first 10 were this Sunday, which was supposed to be today, and the next 10 are next Sunday. Unfortunately, Jordan had food poisoning, so we had to reschedule today till next Saturday. But we had 10 women lined up. How are you feeling about this?
I don't really know anything that's going on. It's. I mean, you guys are putting in a lot of work, so I mean, I just feel like it's a little overwhelming. I think just knowing that it's going to be all. Oh, side note, I've had 3 people, customers, notice me and say, "Oh, you're the guy from The Bachelorette in Vancouver."
Stop it.
The Bachelor in Vancouver, yeah. And I'm like, oh my god. And now my coworkers know. Now the coworkers know about everything. So it's a bit, yeah, people know. So it's a bit overwhelming, but it's. I think it'll be fun.
It's so wild when people notice you.
It's.
I haven't had that yet.
You
Someone's like-
haven't?
No.
I think maybe because we're on camera more,
Yeah, and that was another thing
or
of
it's
why
more
I started
women
TikTok.
looking at the
You guys.
the guys.
I don't love being on camera, being the front of it. I prefer you guys to be.
Yeah.
I like being the brains and the creative behind the scenes. So it works out perfectly.
Having said that, I have had probably more guys come up to me.
Really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Be
at
like,
the very
"Oh,
beginning at the gym,
Yeah.
pet stores.
But it's funny because the
Random
guys
spots.
don't comment or engage.
Yeah. They're just
watching.
they're just watching. Yeah.
So that's that on that. We'll keep you guys abreast after our Zoom dates with Jord, and
I'm
hope
excited. Yeah.
it'll be awesome. Okay, let's chat about current events. You guys want to touch on the playoffs? Oilers played when?
Yeah, they played yesterday, and they got absolutely spanked. 3-rip, and Bobrovsky, the goalie for the Panthers, was unbelievable.
I said that before the series started to like a couple of friends of mine because played some professional hockey as a goalie. So I was like, you know what? The difference usually is the goalie in the series. And the difference between Skinner and Bobrovsky is massive. You look at Bobrovsky's last 12 games. Last 12 games, he's allowed 2 goals or less every single game. The
That's
last 12
nuts.
games. So they know that they just have to score 3 goals and they win. Bobrovsky's contract is insane. He gets paid $10 million a year.
As
So
he
his
should.
contract is 7 years, $70 million.
Wow.
He's also made $116 million to date. So yeah, he's good. The Panthers have been here before, and Bobrovsky's been there before with them. So they know the heartbreak, and they know like what it takes.
I just want Edmonton to just win so bad. It's just gonna come down to Draisaitl and McDavid on the power play. You're off the case, Bobrovsky.
I used to love that.
Where were they playing?
Bobrovsky, you're off the case, Bobrovsky.
You're on the case, Bobrovsky. Clearly, he's on the case.
Was that Jay and Dan Onright that started that?
It was Jay.
Jay, yeah. Oh, whatever happened to Dan O'Toole?
He started going crazy. Like he put out like a bunch of weird tweets or something.
I want to touch on something. I don't know if you guys saw it. Did you see that girl? It was in the last series against Dallas. She flashed her teats on screen.
Teats?
Her teats.
Her milk udders.
Yeah. Did you guys see that?
Yeah,
I
I didn't see it, but I've heard all about it.
And so now she's getting
On like the Jumbotron?
yeah, on the Jumbotron, and now she's getting major offer sites. The spokesperson said they believe her boobs were made for and are offering her a place on their famous dude site. Of course, they're not the only ones in the market for this woman's service. Another site offered her up to $100,000 to show off her chest, just as she did the other night on one of their streams. Even only has now encouraged her to start a platform.
Wow. See,
$100,000 to do exactly what she did on the Jumbotron.
see, things can change quickly.
Show those teats, girl.
So nuts. Like how people just offer money for like $100,000. Like
Just
know-
to do that? Like,
They know that they can make money off her. Was it in Dallas?
it was in Edmonton.
crazy.
Are you looking it up?
Yeah.
We'll put a photo of her here.
Wow.
So go, girl, go. Get that bag.
Heard some interesting facts the other day that in the Stanley Cup Finals, whoever has the most Canadians on the team almost always wins. So Vegas Golden Knights, they had the most Canadian players
2 years ago?
during their Stanley Cup Finals, and then the back-to-back Tampa Bay Lightning had the most Canadians on their roster, and the St. Louis Blues and the Colorado Avalanche all had the most Canadians during their Stanley Cup final games,
And they had like the most
And-
was 10, right?
and they won.
So who has the most? Edmonton?
So Edmonton has the most now. I think they have
15.
15 Canadians.
15 out of like a 22-man roster.
Wow.
Yeah, Florida and Dallas both had 10. Yeah, you got to cheer for the boys, man.
Cheer for the boys.
And it's a Canadian team. We haven't won in 30 years.
It's so crazy because, like, for us, hockey seems like so huge. And when I was seeing that guy in London,
Yeah.
I was talking to him in London. I was talking to him about hockey, and he's like, "Who the fuck plays hockey?"
Considering it's like one of the toughest sports in the world.
But we think that about like soccer, you know?
Yeah, but soccer players like fall down. Guys take
Yeah,
pucks
but
in the face.
there's a good argument for that. Maybe they have more patience for a slow, more boring game.
Yeah.
Because I cannot handle a field that big just passing the ball back and forth, and sometimes the games are 0-0 or 1-0
off the pitch.
You know what I mean? And at least during like football, actual American football or hockey, there's action.
I will say though, soccer highlights, some of them are so sick.
It's like the biggest sport in the world.
Yeah,
Actually, that's wrong.
What is?
Cricket.
Oh, actually, I did know that. Cricket.
And,
so random. They play
and-
that in the UK too.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's a big Pakistani sport, I believe. It's big in Pakistan.
So interesting.
Pakistan.
You want to touch on the Vancouver housing market?
No, I was just putting it in there because Melrick and I had an interesting conversation about it, just like how crazy it is and how it's the most expensive place in the world to live now.
I went to an Oppenheimer like party, and Jason Oppenheimer was there, and he was saying that it's way, way, way crazier than LA.
Oh, yeah. Here is just insane. Yeah. I was actually at a little bit of a get together yesterday for my friend's girlfriend's party and only spent like an hour there, but we chatted about how much the house was worth that I was at. And it was an old house. It was probably like 50 years old, but they were saying that all the houses around it were brand new, and they were saying how like it's probably worth like $3 or $4 million. It's like so old, but the property's big. And then he was telling me my parents wanted to sell their house, and they had a real estate agent come to their house and offer them like, okay, we'll purchase your house for like $2.8 million. And it was an old house. Like this is how crazy it is. They were like, oh, I don't think we're ready. They waited 1 year, and their house was worth $1.5 million more. 1 year
my
later.
God.
So they
shit.
made like another $1.5 million. Like that's how fast the market was growing in certain areas in Vancouver.
That is literally insane.
Yeah. You should insert like some absolute piece of junk house
Yeah.
that's on the market right now. It's probably like $2 million, and people probably around the world would not believe
Like those properties
What
off
you-
Canby, like
what
when you're
you can
driving
buy.
into
Yeah.
Van,
yeah.
you see those pieces of shit.
Just
that are
like your-
boxed up.
They're all teardowns.
Yeah, they're teardowns. They're right beside like a gas station and on a main road with 4 lanes, and they're like 2.5, maybe $3 million for something that's a teardown with no property right on
It's
a
going to
main.
cost probably like $500,000 to build something. At least $500K to build something,
Yeah,
if not more.
the pieces of dirt around here are worth millions of dollars. It's just crazy. It's just crazy to think about.
Then you look at it's like Texas or something, but like any of those places, those comparisons that people do,
Yeah.
it's just mind blowing. A box, $2
Yeah,
mil.
you
and
should
then
put on-
$2 mil in Texas is like granite. This big house. This. It's
Yeah,
like,
pool,
Yeah,
big
I'll
yard.
put some comparisons.
Put in like
nuts.
like what's worth here and what it's worth in Texas, because like Texas is beautiful. Like I lived there and I would move back in a heartbeat, but the prices are so crazy. And you know what? Our the conservative leader in Canada was just talking about shout out Pierre Polivier.
Pierre.
Yeah.
We'll have to touch on him next pod. We love Pierre.
We love
I
Pierre.
met him.
Are you
Yeah.
you're talking about like the Niagara Falls?
Yeah. Like on either side of Niagara, like if you're from the United States, you know where Niagara Falls is. On your guys' side, on the U.S. side of Niagara, houses are like
200.
like $200,000.
Less.
This was like a couple years ago too. I bet you it's way more now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Insane.
It's just crazy how like the kids younger than us, like they have. It's gonna just be generational. It's just passed down.
Generational wealth.
Yeah, that's the only way you can like really afford to buy a place.
That's what my boss said. He said, unless you have a rich mom and dad, like you're not buying a house.
I had a kid in
Your boss.
university.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's a billionaire.
Yeah. The majority of the population, like
In this current market
yeah,
at 2024.
Even with a good education is tough to get into, or you got to work years and years. I'm just saying the comparison between now and like when our parents were kids, it's crazy. Like you could buy, like I think Grandpa bought his house for $16,000.
It's insane.
You know, it's a 3-level like big ass house. I know,
But he was
you
probably
know,
making like what, like $2,000 a year. It's also not compared to how much that house was cost.
Right.
It's like if now it's like the average is probably 60 grand a year, whereas like the house here is like $1 million. So you're literally working, and you're gonna have to pay for rent while you're saving.
Yeah.
It's like impossible.
Wild. Anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You really
The
need
most
to be a
expensive
dink.
place to
Dual
live.
income, no kids.
Yeah.
That's the only way you're buying a house.
Even rent's like 3 grand or something.
And I just feel like a lot of the time these days, people get so caught up in that. And I mean, myself included, it's just you're working to live instead of living to work. People have these like goals of buying a house and they're working so much and they're not able to have kids. Like you just said, dink, dual income, no kids, right?
Or you're not able to experience stuff. Go travel or go out
we were
to
having
eat.
this
Yeah,
conversation.
yesterday. For how long? Until what point is it going to be enough? Because in this economy, it's never going to be enough.
Yeah, if
just
it
gonna keep
keeps
going.
trending the way it's going with the income staying the same and the everything else, the housing market, the food prices, the restaurants, the hotels, everything is so expensive. So it's damn near impossible to get ahead for the average person.
that was crazy that Max Crosby reposted your story.
Yeah.
So sick. Shout out Max.
Yeah, we had a little Father's Day thing at Mason's preschool, and it was a sports day. So we both wore Max Crosby jerseys and took a photo and tagged him, and then he reposted it. I was
So
so
sick.
stoked. I got so many messages from like all my buddies, like, "What? That's so sick."
That's funny.
Jane was making fun of me because I was fanboying over
Yeah,
him.
I was like, you reposted his repost of your post.
because I want people to know
That he liked it.
that he reposted it. Otherwise, they wouldn't know.
Such a fangirl.
Well, Max is a beast.
You have no idea. He's like one of the best players in all of the NFL.
Yeah.
Never heard of him.
You want to see him?
I
He's
saw
an
him. I
absolute
creeped him from
animal.
your
Oh, you
thing.
did?
Yeah,
He's an
he is a
animal.
cute little kid.
Yeah.
I went to Andrew Schulz last night.
Yeah.
I bought last minute tickets for $10.
What?
Yeah.
How was it?
It was so funny. I told John he would love it. It was basically all about him becoming a dad for the first time. And Riley walked over there. She's like, I can't believe like how racist that was. And I was like, but that's like private comedy shows. Like you can be so out of pocket because nobody's filming. And people that are going to his type of show know what to expect.
Here's the thing, too, that people probably don't get about comedy. I'm like really into comedy. I love comedy shows. I've been to dozens and dozens. But people don't understand that comedy is a performance, right? So you're not going to look at like a director of, let's say, what's that movie?
Django Unchained.
Django, yeah. Where they say the N-word and they say all this stuff, and you got Leonardo DiCaprio. Let's say, for example, Leonardo DiCaprio saying the N-word all the time directly to an African-American person acting across from him. No one's going to be like, what? Like, Leo is racist? And like, it's a little bit different because you're not permitting the comedian to, like, say the N-word or say racist slurs, but at the end of the day, it's a performance, and it's not directly relating his views all the time. You know what I mean?
It's a joke.
It's
too.
entertainment. It's a joke. Yeah.
Yeah, but Andrew's not dropping like N-bombs.
No. Okay, I want to chat about grounding. So I saw Gary Brecka little clip.
We are magnetic beings. The Earth actually has a low Gauss magnetic current, and when we contact the surface of the Earth, we do discharge into the Earth. As little as 30 seconds is quality enough time in contact with the Earth. Magnetism from the Earth, oxygen from the air, and light from the sun. The further we get away from these three basics, the sicker we become. Take your shoes off, touch the surface of the Earth. Let me know how good you feel.
I remember it was Zac Efron had that show where he like traveled around the world with that other gentleman, and they talked about grounding. And I remember like, it can't be real. And then I went on like a flight, and I just like first thing I did just to see how it went, and I just got off the ground, took my shoes off, started walking on the soil, and it was very weird. It was different, like something you can't explain, but you did feel something. You didn't have any like jet lag.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a real good reason why people feel so good on vacation, because not only are they relaxed, of course, but if you're on like a tropical vacation or somewhere where you have your shoes off and you're like taking your sandals off all the time and you're walking on the grass or you're walking on the sand, you're constantly grounding yourself and you're in the sun, and it's like all these things make your body feel so good. And yes, you're relaxed on your vacation, but you're also like relaxing your body even more by grounding. I've like seen things online too where they like test it directly. They take like a voltmeter to see like how they can. It's the exact same way a plug works grounding an outlet. the bottom piece of the plug is the ground cable, right? So
Yeah.
it grounds it to the ground in case there's like a surge or something, right? So I actually, for the last year and a half, I bought grounding sheets.
What's in them?
It's like a silver, I think, that runs through it. You can see that it's a little, it looks like kind of square. Yeah, it looks like a square pattern on the sheet. And there's a little clip that you can unclip to wash it. And then you clip it back on. And then you take the cord and you plug it just directly into the grounding port, not the 2 prongs, but just the bottom port, directly into the ground. So the current runs through the ground. So when you're sleeping, you're grounding yourself. And it took like a little bit, maybe a week or so for me to notice it, but I felt like I was getting way better, deeper sleeps.
Do you know the brand of your sheets?
No, I don't.
You'll go home and look. I'll put a photo of them up here.
Yeah.
But
I
you'll
bought
find
them on Amazon. You can buy different ones on Amazon, and there's usually a little video clip that will show you like that they're actually working.
Because even yesterday or the other day, it was Friday, and my bosses are away. I've had a very stressful week, and my mom and John came over, and we sat on their lovely, lovely estate.
Wow.
It is one of the nicest properties in British Columbia. And we had free reigns, and we just all sat there with our feet off, getting grounded in the sun, and I felt so peaceful afterwards.
Yeah, me too.
It doesn't sound like much, but it does make a difference.
It's unbelievable. Now that the sun's out, you can really take advantage of it. So we
George's
encourage
good
you.
at it because he's always got his dogs out.
Yeah,
So-
I always got my dogs out
He's grounded as fuck.
all the time.
You drive bare feet too?
On occasion.
Do you?
No.
Take your flip flops off and drive bare feet?
Actually, sometimes I do. Sometimes I have done that.
And I'll do that in Hawaii too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Maui, I'll just jump in, throw my sandals in the back, and then just drive with my bare
Love
feet.
it.
It's as easy as that, fam.
30 seconds. That's all it takes.
Yeah, but try and do more.
Yeah. But if you can.
If you can get naked in the backyard, do it.
Some say 30 seconds is a lot.
Okay. I would like to touch on Michael Jackson. I know this is a hot topic, but he is one of my favorite people on the planet. Rip.
Yeah, mine too.
Love him. I actually went to see a musical in London about him, and my mom and I both cried. It was amazing.
Really?
It was so good. I am so moved by this man. His music is incredible. What he's done for the world and his inspiration to stop child hunger.
He's one of the only like artists that I've seen that can go like any country, any city in the world, and people would know who he is.
It's insane. Like, you guys should look up. I also watched This Is It a couple months ago.
So good.
Oh my God. Like, it is incredible, you guys. I would die for this man. Like, I would take a bullet for this
How
man.
he literally directs every instrument and like every note and every move. It's like crazy.
Love it. Like, you don't have to convince me. What are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, I like him. I love his music. I just, yeah.
Me and John also had we found this out when we were talking the other day. When we played hockey, we listened to the same song.
Really?
Of Michael, yeah. They don't really care about us, but every time before we went on the ice.
That's
Yeah.
what you listen to?
Yeah.
And I did too. We never knew that about each other.
I listened to 2 different ones before I go out, but I told Jordan I listened to this one specifically, and he said, "Oh, I listened to that too," and that's the first time we ever talked about it.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This- right before I go on the ice.
And I have
I
a
don't
funny
really
story
care
about Michael
about
Jackson,
us.
actually. When I was 17, I went to the NHL draft in Montreal, and Michael Jackson actually died while we were in the air to Montreal from Vancouver. And when we got off the plane, everyone was running around. It was on every TV screen, and everyone was running around telling everyone, strangers telling strangers, like, "Oh my God, Michael Jackson. Did you hear Michael Jackson's dead?" Like, it was pandemonium that he had died.
I remember actually crying when Mom told me that.
I'm pretty sure I cried too. Like, people love this man.
I was like a young tuck.
I remember I was with Grandma and Grandpa because they were watching me while you guys were
Oh, really?
flying over, and I saw it on the news.
Yeah, it's so crazy. When famous people die, you always remember where you were at the time. Like, do you remember where you were when Kobe Bryant died?
Yep. I was living with my ex-boyfriend, and it came on the screen, like an emergency on the screen.
Yeah. It was all that was on.
And we were like, there's no way.
Yeah. The people are in disbelief.
And it was like such a crazy way to
daughter
go.
Oh my God.
in a helicopter. Like, it's just so unfathomable. Like,
Where were you guys?
I was at Auntie Bev's. Mason was just born, I believe, and we were going to take him to see Grandpa in Port Alberni. And we had walked into Auntie Bev's, and Auntie Bev had the TV on and was like, "Did you hear Kobe Bryant's dead?" I was like, "No, what?" I'm like, "That can't be real."
I thought it was a prank the whole time. So I just remember seeing it and being like, yeah, right. In a plane crash with like this many other people and his daughter, like, it's got to be a prank.
It's so
And then it was
devastating.
everywhere. And I was like, holy shit, this is real.
That'll happen, I think, when Britney dies.
Britney
Spears?
Spears?
Yeah.
No.
I think
Maybe.
so. She's
Yeah.
such an icon.
It's you know what I find? It's not when people die necessarily. It's tragic death.
but Michael's wasn't
early.
necessarily tragic.
Yeah, it was.
What do you mean? Do you know how he died?
His doctor gave him the wrong
but we didn't know that
prescriptions.
at the very moment. People thought he just died in his sleep.
No, he was like
Yeah,
talking
but he was
about
young.
it.
That's tragic.
And he was like also
54,
talking
wasn't he?
about it. Like,
Yeah, that's young.
He was like saying they're like trying like openly like on news like they're trying to kill me. And then I mean I don't know if like that's all allegedly, but and then all of a sudden like just gone.
Rip.
Rip.
I'm going to just read this little article. This is some news from Neverland that's come out. This is why we're chatting about him in our current events topic. So, the King of Pop's offspring, his kids, have been blocked from accessing funds until the estate settles a long-lasting disagreement with the IRS. This dispute stems from the tax audit that allegedly found the estate undervalued its assets, resulting in a claim of $700 million in unpaid taxes and penalties.
Like get lost.
So now the estate has filed a motion for reconsideration of the value of his music catalog. And until this request is addressed, everything is frozen.
Wow.
700 million.
It's just his stuff, right? Like I'm sure the kids have had some inheritance go into their accounts. Like, I'm sure they're
sure.
fine. So that's not like they're immediately
No,
You
but
know.
still, like what a nightmare for
Oh.
everyone to deal with.
totally.
Oh, it's gonna go on for years too.
That's the IRS for you.
Yeah, CRA.
Okay, I also want to touch on Alec Baldwin and get your guys' thoughts on this because now he's going to be back on trial. So you guys have heard about the Western movie Rust, which what Baldwin produced and starred in. And the revolver that he was holding fired and killed cinematographer Helena Hutchins. In April, the film weapons supervisor received the maximum sentence of 18 months after being convicted of involuntary manslaughter after the jury determined she failed to follow gun safety protocols.
It should be so much more. Oh, she should be getting the most of it.
Yeah.
Who?
Because
She was the film's weapons supervisor.
Yeah.
She should be getting a lot more.
Yeah, and now Alec Baldwin prepares for his trial for involuntary manslaughter. Trial is scheduled for July, and Baldwin has pleaded not guilty. The charge carries a maximum sentence of 18 months in prison as well. The legal team has tried to dismiss this, but the judge is the same judge that convicted the film's weapons supervisor.
When I was working on that one TV show,
Yeah?
there's guns with blanks, and there's someone that is in control of issuing the gun and then handing out the blank shells. And not one person was like, I didn't check. They're just shells that you're just like, you just expect.
Did you hear how it got on set?
No, I didn't. But
This
like,
supervisor was at a gun range before, or like a day or so before, and she had the gun in her car, and she mistaken that one that she took to the gun range.
Oh,
for
straight
the
to
sets.
jail.
Yeah,
Straight to jail.
yeah, so she should be getting like,
a lot more.
that's so irresponsible.
Yeah. It's like standard gun safety. Here in Canada, anyways, if you have a handgun, I mean, our laws are quite a bit more strict, but if you have if you own a handgun, you have to have it locked in your case and you have to go directly to the gun range and then directly home. It's just for home safety and then at the gun range. So you can't walk around with it. But I understand if you're able to like open carry, but even then, standard gun safety and like a simple course would tell you always check if it's loaded before you do anything. Before you even pick the gun up, the first thing you do is make sure, even if you're handing a gun over and you know that it's not loaded, you check and then hand it over. So I don't know how that's even possible. I don't think it's Alec Baldwin's fault at all. Because he might not even be a gun owner. He might not even have the knowledge to, if someone hands you a gun over, to check it to make
Right.
sure. And even if he did, there could be rounds in it that are blanks. So you might not even be able to tell.
It's such a devastating story, and it's so mishandled.
But I just couldn't
Yeah.
even imagine like on the set that I was on when we're shooting blanks and then just one just pops, like just hits somebody. Like that's not, I don't think that's the gun shooter's fault,
No.
because that's their one responsibility is to check the blanks or the bullets.
That's your one job.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so devastating. So you guys don't think he should go to jail?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I don't think so at all.
Well, we'll see in July. We'll keep you guys abreast as well.
You know what? Can I touch on one thing before we stop? I think that this person who died,
Helena Hutchins.
the person who died, they should use Helena Hutchins' death to bring awareness to all the other sets. And I don't think she died in vain. I think that it will bring a lot of awareness to gun control and gun safety on set. So hopefully this never happens again.
Yeah.
Maybe more protocol. It's kind of like after like 9/11, how everything got more strict in the airports. Like I think that definitely now, you know, having someone died on a set using an actual round.
Well, there is like
It should be
anyone that holds like a gun actually has to go through like a course on set. Like you have to go through an actual gun. Yeah. If you're just holding a gun that has no trigger, or it's just like you're just pretending, but anyone that has to shoot a blank has to go through a gun safety course. And that's probably why now.
Well, God willing, that never happens again. And rest in peace, Helena.
Yeah. R.I.P.
I want to ask you guys, what do you think the best 90s TV show was growing up?
Cartoons would probably be.
I don't think I watched any cartoons.
I was like a big Land Before Time guy.
You were.
Huge Land Before Time. Littlefoot.
You're such a dinosaur guy.
Huge dinosaur guy.
What was that show that it inspired the oatmeal that had the melting dino eggs?
Not Dragon's Tales.
It was Dragon's
Was it
Tales.
Dragon's Tales? Yeah. Dragon's Tales is pretty fire.
Tales.
Non-cartoon would probably be like Even Stevens.
I was going to say Even Stevens, their Boy Meets World.
Boy Meets World, yeah. Recess was sick.
Recess, they have
And Little
live stream
Rascals.
of Recess on YouTube 24/7
Yeah,
now.
no, that's sick.
Yeah, it's so good.
What's the one with the Rascal? Not Little Rascals.
Proud Family.
Yeah, Proud Family.
Did you guys hear that? Jordan just ripped ass.
That's very. It was very. I should not have done that because
It's going to stain
you
my
can't-
couch.
No, you just can't trust it when you have food poisoning.
Never trust a toot. We are starting a new segment called 90s Nostalgia. If you're from the 90s, you'll appreciate this. So today we're going to touch on TV shows. A little bit of Y2K thrown in there because I'm a 96, so
But the 90s TV shows still rolled in.
Timeless.
Rolled into. They still rolling in my eyes.
they are. Some of them
Yeah,
are.
Some of them
Yeah.
are unbelievable.
Let's go through them. The top 90s series.
I'll just go through some of the ones that are closest to probably our hearts. Rugrats.
Yeah.
You guys remember Rugrats?
Yeah.
Sort of.
Banger.
Oh, you don't?
I don't really.
Obviously, The Simpsons is still rolling, but it wasn't that nostalgic in the 90s for me.
No, me neither.
How about Hey Arnold?
Oh yeah.
I do remember
so-
that.
football-
We'll put little clips of
Yeah.
the thing
Football
up here.
head.
Yeah, football head. And then the girl who was always like making fun of him.
I don't really remember this show.
You don't? Okay. I got to get to one that you remember. What about Dexter's Laboratory?
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
What?
Dude, Dexter's Lab was sick.
How about Pinky and the Brain?
Nope.
What? Are you out of your mind?
Is that with the pig? Like
It's the two rats, and they try and take over the world. What are we gonna do today, Pinky? Same thing we do every day. Try and take over the world.
Never heard that.
Okay, let's move on to some sitcoms. Full House.
Oh yeah, Everyone
You're not
knows
into
that.
Full House?
I don't remember Full House. I'd seen parts of it, but I wasn't.
With little
Wow.
Mary Kate Nash.
What about Saved by the Bell?
That's an
Oh.
iconic. Screech?
Yeah, Screech and Kelly Kapowski. Oh,
Oh.
God, her and Topanga are the top two.
Topanga in like season what is it, like 8 or 9 after
Oh.
that.
High school series.
Every '90s kid crush is Kelly Kapowski.
Who died from? It was Screech, wasn't it?
Yeah, Screech died. Yeah,
Rest in peace.
Fairly recent, like
Couple
last
years
5
ago?
years ago.
Yeah, what happened to him?
I'm not sure. Yeah, it might have been pills or something. But he also did.
Did he?
I think we should say corn.
Corn.
He also did corn.
Also, the redhead from Boy Meets World did corn.
Only corn.
Yeah,
Rachel.
Because
Rachel.
What else?
I'll skip the dramas and the sci-fis. What about Power Rangers?
Nope.
Never into Power Rangers?
Never.
Dang.
I think I was, but like not like.
What about Goosebumps?
Oh, that always.
No.
Oh.
This is the books. But you know, Ryan Gosling started his career in Goosebumps.
Really?
He's in one of the first episodes. He's a kid.
He was a Disney kid, wasn't he?
I don't know if he was. What about Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah, dude, that
You
gave
don't
me
remember the and it's just
The
like
swing set?
the swing set swinging with no kid on it at night, and then they're like the Midnight Society.
Oh,
and
dude,
then
that used to give me the.
they would sit around
biggest-
like the campfire and tell like crazy creepy stories, and then the stories would become the episode.
No recollection.
I always used to
What?
get so scared when like that would come on, and then I'd be like, oh, so into it.
Okay, what about the Amanda Show?
Yeah.
Iconic.
Iconic, yeah, the Amanda Show.
And the guy
Amanda, please.
Amanda, please. And
So good.
she's kind of off her rocker. Have you guys seen her on TikTok lately?
I haven't seen her on TikTok, but I've seen pictures of her with like the face tattoos
And like the eyebrows, like
Oh yeah,
It's-
she's done.
it's Disney. You're
You're
bald.
bald.
A lot of the Disney kids are a bit mangled these days.
But the guy Keenan from the
Thompson.
Amanda Show,
Yeah, he's
and then
on-
all that,
He's on SNL.
and now
yeah.
he's on SNL.
Yeah,
He's
He
been
re-
on that for years.
Yeah, he's a star. Keenan Thompson.
He's also in Good Burger.
Yes, Good Burger is iconic.
Second one, trash.
Welcome to the Good Burger.
Home with a Good Burger. Can I take your order?
yeah. We'll do movies next.
What about Home Improvement?
Yeah, Home Improvement's on there.
Tim Allen. It was like, what was the concept
Yeah,
of that show?
Friends.
The concept of Home Improvement?
Yeah, like what was the guy over the neighbor? Why the hell was he always like?
It was just part of the show.
Over
Dude,
the
never
fence.
saw his face. Never saw his below his nose. He had like a TV show, a reality TV show, but everything he did
Called
like,
Home Improvement.
But everything he did like would break, and then his buddy Al would always fix it or something.
Al Borland.
Wow, I should rewatch that.
Yeah, it was pretty nostalgic for me because Grandma and Grandpa always used to watch it. They would watch it like as it came on, like at night on TV.
But if you watch it now, like the things that Tim says is like, I think they're hilarious. But a lot of people now will like be like, you can't say that.
People are too sensitive.
Way
Yeah.
too.
If you're
soft.
too sensitive, you should probably stop watching us now. You're gonna get your feelings hurt.
Probably.
What about Seinfeld? You guys get into Seinfeld? I love Seinfeld
you know
now,
I love Seinfeld.
but I didn't watch it at the time. Yeah. And of course, Boy Meets World.
Boy Meets World, the best.
Yeah, Even Stevens.
The best.
The best.
My first real crush, I feel like, was Hilary Duff in
Oh,
Lizzie
Lizzie?
McGuire.
Such a good. Do you know?
And
they're-
she's hot now.
she's
still.
really hot. And did they know they only had two seasons of Lizzie McGuire?
Really?
It was 1 or 2 seasons, and it's crazy because it's a phenomenon that show has made such a cultural impact on our generation for 1 or 2
Crazy.
seasons.
Really? I didn't know. I thought it was way more.
Like
Crazy.
Boy Meets World is what, like 11 or 12?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that TV show with? Was it Jamie Lynn Spears?
Oh,
Zoe 101.
Zoe
Yeah.
101.
Yeah.
That was so good too.
That was good.
Yeah, lots of Disney shows.
Didn't she have the same birthday as you?
Jamie Lynn Spears, yeah.
Yeah.
040491.
Yeah.
Same name as me. Got that my whole goddamn life.
What else we got?
Doug. You guys remember Doug?
No.
TV show Doug?
Doug.
I used to watch it with Justin and Jason Brown all the time. What about Pokemon?
I don't ever think I got really into it.
I got into the cards, but never really the show. What about Sailor Moon? Remember Sailor Moon?
Barely.
Wow. You guys are just crazy. These shows that are seared into my mind.
Well, you didn't have much to do before we got talking. Like you only had TV to watch, and then we came around and we just
Yeah, I was
Tore
just,
it up.
lit it
I was
up.
just watching TV while mom and dad were taking care of you guys. Here, watch Dexter's Laboratory.
That's funny.
What about Cat Dog?
Yeah, I remember Cat Dog vividly.
Cat Dog.
You guys remember Futurama?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a Simpsons guy who made it.
Yeah.
Matt Groening.
I loved Recess, honestly, and The Weekenders. Like those are my top
The
2.
Weekenders. Yeah, I remember The Weekenders.
Proud Family.
Proud Family was a Disney show as well, right?
Proud Family.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
How about
Destiny.
Dragon Tales?
So we said.
Yeah, they
Dragon
did?
Tales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Zaboomafoo?
Sabuma.
Oh, that one was burned into my brain.
What about Arthur?
Arthur's
Oh,
such.
yeah.
It's so iconic.
Love it.
Dude, the memes out about Arthur these days are out of control.
I still try and get Mason into Arthur because I got a 24/7 like of all these cartoons. It just plays all these old cartoons 24/7
He's not
on my
into
TV. He's kind of like, I don't know. I feel like I was older when I was into it, but he's just too mature.
Yeah, he's like out here playing COD.
He wants to he's playing Call of Duty and wants to watch real shows. He wasn't even really that into If, that new Ryan Reynolds movie. He was into it from time to time, but we thought it was great. We liked it.
And he was not.
Yeah.
He was
It's
there
a
for
really
the
good
popcorn.
concept. And you know what? The movie is really fun too for adults because all the imaginary friends, all the ifs are different famous people.
Oh.
So like every time
sick.
an if talks, you're like, who is that? Who is that?
That's funny.
Yeah.
There's a new Lego movie coming out. It's like a biopic of Pharrell's life, and it's all like super, super, super famous people. Like I think 50 Cent is in it, one of the voices. It's all on Lego.
Crazy.
Really?
Like the Lego characters, but it's based off Pharrell's life. 'Cause he's like a
Pharrell.
billionaire.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah.
That's
You
cool.
know, I'm happy.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I know it.
I don't know any other Pharrell song.
I want to know what their favorite shows were.
Yeah, drop a comment what your favorite 90s nostalgia TV show is. And it will help us reminisce a little bit.
Yeah, TV shows though.
TV
Yeah,
shows.
because we'll hit movies later.
Yeah, we're going to cover 90s nostalgia every week. Or every 2 weeks, we're dropping a pod for now. Until
Yeah.
we get our boots off the ground and until Jordan finds his wife. Then we'll have a little bit more time on our hands.
Yeah.
Well, I might not.
No, Jordan will be busy. We're going to
Should
end.
we say that we found George's wife?
I think we did at the beginning.
Did we? I don't think we did. We found her.
We think. We know.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
we would marry her.
If she's into it, Jord has a wife.
Yeah.
And I, again, have no idea about anything.
You're going to be so stunned by this girl.
I was telling JV Lynn the other day, I was like, imagine they actually get married and like they can play like her like initial interview like at their wedding or something,
Yeah.
or us just like talking about it. Like, we found her wife. We found your wife. And I wrote winner at the top of her thing right away.
We recorded all the FaceTimes too. So, like,
Oh,
we have all
sick.
of them. Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be good.
You're going to find your wife.
She's great, dude.
I'm pumped.
It's
I think
so
she's
good.
perfect for you.
Everything. Like, everything
Yeah,
you'd
I
want
think
in
you'll
a
love
girl.
everything about her. And it's so like you.
War weird.
Yeah.
Love her.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was just about to say her
God.
name.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're going to end each pod asking one silly, controversial question.
Okay.
Pineapple on pizza.
No.
Thoughts?
No.
What? I
No.
love Hawaiian pizza.
Nope.
Not for me. I'm a traditional guy.
Why don't you like it? Just the sweetness?
I just don't think fruit belongs on pizza.
Wrong.
I'm not looking to get a sweet taste out of my pizza. I'm more savory. Or
Yeah, I like
savory and
the
spicy.
old cheese and the good meats. Arugula.
You're wrong for that. You're very wrong for that. Okay, so we will see you guys in a few weeks. You guys have anything else you want to cover?
No, I think we're good.
And
think-
you let us know too what you think about pineapple on pizza.
Yeah, pineapple on pizza.
I mean, I feel like this is played out, but let us know.
It's a tale as old as time.
I think there's no place for it.
I think you're wrong. Okay, I think we're going to sign off every pod like this. Sayonara, Sydney Stefan. Shout out Sydney Stefan. She has no idea.
You're bald.
You're bald.